All right, beautiful humans of the Radiant One. I am Danielle. You probably already know that by now. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be finally sharing this with you. Finally sharing with you. It really truly has been at least this full year so far, and we're now in November, of me navigating my radiance, my radiant body, and having to really kind of go through my journey of tapping into my radiance in this kind of reverse way of I really became radiant unintentionally, right? And honestly, unintentionally, insanely radiant because I had initiated myself through Kundalini yoga, not really even knowing that it was going to make me radiant. I just found the practice and it stuck with me. So I became super radiant, super glowy, super free in my energy and my Shakti with my Kundalini moving. I had all these ideas, but like that's the feminine, right? That's the feminine energy. It's moving, there's chaos, it's, it's non-linear. You're just like, oh my God, I feel all these things. But because I wasn't fully aware of the power of my presence, of the magnitude of my radiance, I wasn't really able to consciously curate the reality that ultimately I desire. And it's all perfect, right? But I believe that this is a part of why this program is birthing through me and wanted to birth through me. And it was a part of me gaining consciousness and gaining my ability to now share these consciousness codes with you, so that as you step into your radiance, maybe you're also doing the 40-day glow up challenge practice at the same time, to give you the opportunity to not just next levelify your radiance, but to also do it in a consciously participatory way. Because I really had to learn the hard way. Everything, not just this module that we're going to dive into today, INSOURCED stability, but all 8, what it currently is, all 8 of these modules. I really had to kind of reverse engineer almost. Be like, I don't like that, so let's see how else I can do it. What if I bring a level of conscious participation into this? Then what would that do for me? What would that bring me? Okay, so I'm really excited to share this array of truly fundamental codes and wisdom and experiences with you all. No matter if it's for your life and or especially in the context of the career that you're desiring to create for yourself, radiance is something we need and is something that we forget about, right? Radiance it's your energy. It's that ooh factor. It's that everybody in the room has the same credentials, is an incredible, dancer or whatever the context is, right? Of the job you're auditioning for, applying for. Even if you're on stage, by that point, everybody was already hired. So everybody's incredible. So what makes you stand out? What makes people be magnetized to watch you, to want to receive you, to want to receive from you, to want to hire you. It's that unspeakable it factor that we like to talk about. And a major part of that is your radiance. It's your glow up. It's your aura. It's your energetic presence. It's the intangible. It's the intangible inside of it all. So that's what we're getting into this program. This program is more, I am going to be giving you very practical, both prompts and practices, practical prompts and practices. Oh, practical prompts and practices. Love that. However, the conversations that we're having in the practice that we're doing inside of this, 40-day practice container is more of the feminine energetics, while weaving together through this conscious participation in conversation, that kind of neutralizing structure force, okay, which is a little bit more of the masculine. So I'm excited. If you have questions throughout this program, please share them with me inside of the portal of expansion. And as always, this is how these concepts, this is how I relate to them right now. So it's subject to change. It's subject to evolve and grow as I do on my journey. And I also invite you to hold your own opinion, right? Especially in the context of today's conversation, which is INSOURCED stability, not just smiling and nodding, not just people pleasing, but formulating and having a deeply rooted sense of self that creates inner stability. So it's okay if you disagree with something I'm saying. Bring it forth if you want. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a discussion about it. So with that being said, shall we begin? Let me pull up my notes here. I hope you can hear me all right. I've got my microphone. This is my microphone. Yeah, this felt like the space to do this. So here we are. And the final thing I want to just say is the radiant one, and my little catchphrase that really came through. I played with this for a long time, you guys. Like this program has been sitting, gestating, is that the word? Like it's been pregnant inside of me this whole year. And it's evolved, it's changed, the title changed, and then it changed back to the radiant one, and the full thing. But the catchphrase that really landed was, because there is no one like you. There is no one like you. How can you own that? How can you honor that? How can you step into that? That knowing that there's no one like me. Now, like, oh my God, I'm different from everybody. And, I wanna blend in. I wanna be the same. I wanna fit in. There's no one like you. How can that be your ultimate superpower? There's no one like you that has had the life experiences that you have had, that is incarnated here now to share what you and only you are here to share. The more you step into this, the more radiant you become, the more free you feel, because you're like, I am me, and it doesn't matter if you are you and you are you. We are all equal power, but different. And I love that. I celebrate that. This is Aquarian age leadership and ownership of what you're here for. So I want you and us to continue to pulsate this mantra, because there's no one like me, because there's no one like me, because there's nobody like me. I am unique, and that is my superpower. So how can I hold that? How can I carry that? How can I honor that in every way as I navigate time and space, challenges, conflicts, emotions, denying forces, fears, insecurities, being canceled, the unfollows, all of it. Okay. I love that we have our little glow up happening. Oh, we got the sun. The sun is peering through. Of course it is. Of course. Of course, of course. Okay. So I want to start with a little story, a facet of my life story to kind of bring in this like insourced stability, because this is really where my journey began. This is really where my whole journey began. Was I'm sure most of you know at this point, I was a dancer. I was going professional. I was in Amsterdam. I was based in Amsterdam at this point, doing like 4 times more auditions than anybody I knew. And in hindsight, I mean, I felt it in the moment, but I would spend hours, you guys, hours picking out my outfit, and subconsciously, not even because, of course, it's like I want to look good, I want to feel good, but more so because I would be like, what would this company like me most in? How would I fit in? What outfit do I have? What color socks goes best with this outfit to make me potentially fit in to, one, this company, and two, the unknown box of what they're trying to hire, box of a person that they're filling the spot of. Hours. And I literally would send pictures to my friends, these color socks or these color socks with my outfit, right? And then it's like, do I wear a leotard or do I not wear a leotard? Do I wear a tight fitted top? Do I wear, baggy with a leotard underneath? How many options do I want to have? How am I going to roll up my pants? Like, stuck in here. Stuck in here. The thing is, how can you be radiant? How can you be yourself? How can you feel expressive? How can you be holding and inside of your truth if all you're thinking about is trying to fit a mold that you don't even know what it is? Even if you do know what it is, but especially if you don't know what it is, how can you possibly try and fit a mold? The mold is you. The most beautiful mold is you filling in the space and the crevices of your soul's mold. Filling that in, filling that up, as opposed to trying to squeeze. It's like Cinderella, right? The stepsisters trying to squeeze their foot into this shoe that's literally not theirs, just so that they can try and get the prince and like have the happily ever after that's meant for somebody else. Just because that's somebody else's happily ever after doesn't mean you're not going to find your own. And we're going to talk a little bit more about trust later today, and also in one of the following modules. So that's it. I couldn't possibly be, even once I was in the audition, why did I ultimately get cut at the end of these auditions? I would make it, quite a few of them, I made it all the way to the end. There were 6 of us and they were looking for 4. There were 3 of us, they were looking for 2. Even when they didn't say, okay, this is how many we're looking for, I would talk to the hiring committee afterwards, the directors. They're like, you're really, really great. Like, you were almost it. It's like, no, but why wasn't I it? Why wasn't I it? It was because I was lacking the confidence and the inner sense of self. Truly, truly. We think that people want resumes. We think that people want this person and this, you know, you worked for this person and you got this degree and blah 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 blah, the longest list of incredible credentials ever. But at the end of the day, people want connection. People want somebody who's going to bring something forth to the table. And for that, and especially in the context of performing arts, right? People want somebody that's radiant, that's in their power, that's feeling free, that's going to like deliver. You have to have a very strong sense of self for that. And I sounded that. I said that when I came home, you know, after being exhausted from these auditions. I came home. It was the beginning of the pandemic and 2020. And I said to a friend, I was like, I don't know who I am beyond the resumes, beyond any of this. And what happened? Kundalini yoga came to me. So I'm telling you, this practice is so powerful. It's the fundamental reason I am here and I am who I am today and now, and even able to speak this and share this and do this and tapped into my dharma. So I highly encourage you to tap into this daily practice and or the plethora of practices we have inside of there. Okay. So something I realized when I was like dropping into the story was I was trying to control how others were perceiving me. And ultimately, through like highly curating my outfits and my appearance, I was trying to manipulate myself into this mold and manipulate others into thinking I was somebody, thinking that I was somebody that wasn't really true. And do you really want to start any kind of relationship that way? Because however you start it, however you prepare for it, is ultimately setting the context. Even if they do hire you, that's what they're hiring you for. And so it's like, oh shit, now I was in that mold. I activated that mold. Now I have to be that mold. I have, that's, you know, even subconsciously, oh, that they hired me because of who I was. So now I have to be that person all the time. And that is exhausting. I would say probably one of the most exhausting things in life is to pretend to be somebody you're not. Pretending to be somebody you're not. So how often are you, I used to do this, you guys, in high school, because I would have school and then I would have dance and then I would have my Celtic ensemble, which was like my fiddle group practice, and I would have violin practice, and then maybe the odd time I would go, you know, hang out with a friend or whatever. Everything I had a different outfit for, thinking about what would they wear? What would they like me best in? For real, for real, for real, for real. I literally remember these thoughts. And it's exhausting. And then you have to bring literally all of this shit because it's like, okay, I need to have a change of clothes for this and then for this and then for this. I have to change myself so I can fit in. But we're not here to fit in because there's nobody like you. There's nobody like you. You're not meant to fit in. You're meant to thrive through being yourself, through beaming yourself. Be energetically and magnetically you. Beam you. You beam you. So where are you like kind of like actually subconsciously or consciously manipulating yourself into a mold that is not you and manipulating others into a warped perception of who you are so that they can like you, right? Yeah, and when you're trying to control how others perceive you, you are not radiant. You're just not because you're not free, right? What is radiance? Radiance is like the freedom of your energy and your presence and your expression. And if you are trying to hyper curate how others are thinking about you. You're making choices, blah, 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 blah. That's not you and your freedom of expression, of being. You know, it's a state of being. Radiance is a state of being. And if your state of being is inhibited and blocked by your mind, you're not fully in it. So this is a work in progress, right? I'm still working on it. I still notice when I'm like, when I contract or when I feel out of my power or when I doubt myself, you know? So it's a constant journey that we're here to get to explore. Okay, so what is insourced stability? It's your connection to your truth. It's you having an understanding of who you are. It's the depth of your sense of self beyond your resume, beyond your titles, beyond your associations, beyond the classic kind of spoken, right? I am Danielle, and I was born and raised a dancer, and I went to university at this place, and I am half Chinese, half Dutch, and I'm living in LA, and I lived in Tulum, and these are my friends, right? The depth of your sense of self. So I put here hashtag stripped down without all of the external. It's the internal. It's the internal. So I liked this. It's your ability to sense and smell. When you are so stable in yourself, when you feel this insourced stability and groundedness, you can really be present, right? It's really about the groundedness that you feel. And if you're really grounded in the present moment, you can receive. You can receive from your senses. You can receive, you can smell, you're present, you're here. You're not in your mind, you're in your body. You're navigating this dance of giving and receiving always. It's your groundedness, it's your vitality, it's your strength. And in your body, so I think this is interesting, right? We're associating it, your inner stability to the body. And so in the body, this is associated with your feet, right? Your feet are connected to the earth. That's what grounds you. Your legs, that provides the stability. Your bones, that's the fundamental building blocks, solid building blocks of your body. Your immune system, right? So it's really these fundamentals, the fundamentals of the fundamentals. Your immune system, right? So that's what's really supporting your vitality and wellness, and your digestive system, right? Which is your processing portal, your literal processing portal. Emotionally, it's your sense of stability, strength, and groundedness again, right? So it's not that different. It's just thinking about it in a different way. How emotionally stable do you feel? How emotionally grounded do you feel? Right? And when it's balanced, you feel confident, you feel at ease, you feel an inner peace, you feel resilient, like you can handle whatever is brought to you because your feet are on the ground and your bones are strong and your legs are rooted deeply. You've got a strong structure, a strong base structure. That's what this is really about. And internalizing it. When in balance, you're grounded, safe, and secure. You have a strong connection to your physical body and your environment, right? It's really real. It's like really being real and grounded in this reality. And sometimes, especially for my souls who have had on whatever level a spiritual journey, we can get really kind of lofty. And we lose these kind of fundamental chakras and energies, the core, the base three, right, that ground us here. Your resilience, as I said, your sense of stability in the key areas of your life, okay, which is your career, your relationships, and your personal goals. So which of those three would you say you feel the most kind of doubtful or insecure inside of, right? You can even bring it to the context of your relationship with money, your relationship with time, your relationship with your emotions. The areas that you feel the most kind of unstable, insecure about, this is where I want you to kind of focus your attention on with this. So, signs of imbalance. So we're getting a little bit also into like the chakras here, right? So this is really connected with the first chakra, which is this I am. Is literally, if you look it up, the root chakra is I am. So those are the balanced. If it's signs of imbalance, so it can be underactive or it can be overactive, this first chakra, right? So underactive would be, think about when you're feeling that insecurity, right? Fear, insecurity, anxiety, lack of focus, right? If you're like a little bit unstable in your connection to the ground and your connection to the present, there's a lack of focus because you're like, whoa, because there's no bowl, there's no container, there's no structure to hold everything, the nuance, the chaos, that feminine energy that's coursing through always. You can feel spacey, disorganized, disconnected from reality, and also a looping in your mind, right? As I was kind of talking about, it's this like looping of like, although that could also be overactive. That could be overactive. Okay, so it's really like when you're stuck in your mind. So we want to get out of our minds and more into our body. Overactive is greed, right? Because it's this security. So if I'm hyper aware of or over desiring of security, there's a greediness, right? There's also a stubbornness of like, nope, this is it, it has to be this way. And there's an excessive materialism, right, of like hoarding because you want this security, right? And there can be an overly focused on security and safety to the point of aggression and anxiety. So something I've noticed is that this can manifest, right? We're talking about the body, right? So it can manifest in joint pain, right? Again, bones, fundamental structure, lower back pain, and digestion issues. So those are some kind of ways you can kind of check in with yourself of, are any of those things present for me? And if so, maybe it's a sign that I need to ground myself more. Where am I subconsciously, subtly feeling insecure, unstable, ungrounded? We hold our fear, we hold all of these energies in our body. And so this is why I talk a lot about the wisdom of your body and how much your body's intelligence can offer you. So why is this important for radiance? If you don't have, without it, you don't have these legs to stand on, right? If you don't have that structure, there's nowhere for the dance of the radiance to move in and through you. If you don't have the legs, you don't have the structure, if you don't have the bowl, if you don't have the container, you can't shine because you don't have that stability. It's not there, it's not holding you. It's your root, it's your anchor point. If you're worried about your basic needs not getting met, you can't move beyond that. You can't build anything on top of that. Right? So if you're stuck in your mind, as I was saying earlier, if you're stuck in your mind, you're blocking your radiance. So again, another kind of, well, I did mention this earlier actually, but if you're looping in your mind, if you're stuck in your mind, if you're not taking action, this is a key one too. If you're not taking action, there's some element of fear, of underlying, maybe subconscious fear prohibiting you from that. As I said, it's the container, right? Your in-sourced stability is like your energetic container for everything else to be moving through and inside of. And why is understanding who you are and having this important for your life and career? Because there's nobody like you. Because there's nobody like you. And ultimately and honestly, from my experience, it's really like all the times, all the conversations I would have that were so, like, people would ask me questions like, what's your favorite movie? What kind of music do you like to listen to? Like, even just the basic things, right? What is important to you? What are your values? It can really range. And I would just flip the question back to the person and then be like, yeah, that's what it is. You're not able to really like live freely. And if you're not living in that state of freedom, you're not going to be able to attract the opportunities and the relationships and the people who can really not only who not only align with you, but who can inspire you and create more of it for you. So energetically, physically, emotionally, mentally, having this in-sourced stability is the fundamental of the fundamentals, right? So we're also going through this program step by step. That's not the word I was looking for, but you're picking up what I'm putting down. Chronologically. So da, da, da. So yeah, it's really all about this first chakra. This first chakra energy, this root, this I am. And also your ability to be in this space, be in the silence, and cultivate that inner peace. That inner peace of, I do this job audition and maybe it's this, maybe it's not this. Can I be in source stability is not feeling like I need this job, I need this person, I need this thing to happen, or else it's the end. That's the opposite of inner peace. That's creating a level of pressure that is not radiant, that is not magnetic, that is not you in your power, that is needy. Nobody really wants to feel needy, and nobody really feels good feeling needed. And we're getting a little bit into codependence here, which we'll probably talk more about in our confidence module. Número 1, 2, 3. Okay, but something you can start chewing on. When am I feeling like I need something to happen, or I need somebody, or even I need, a teacher's guidance or words, to help me through this? How can I insource that? And it's not to say you have to be hyper independent and not lean on the people that you have, but there's a difference. There's a subtle difference that you can start to tap into. Okay, and one of the main things I want us to do and kind of take away from this module, if there's one thing, kind of an all-embodied sentence or, concept, is remembering your greatness, because there's nobody like you. It's so easy for us to be self-deprecating, so easy for us to try and fit in. It's so easy for us to kind of succumb to societal norms, and I gotta do my makeup this way, I gotta look this way, I gotta dress this way, I gotta fit in. And with each one of those, we're chipping away at remembering our uniqueness and our greatness and our individuality. So remember your greatness. Remember you're here for greatness. And how can you amplify that? How can you allow yourself to be that, to embody that, to exist inside of that? And how can you trust that you will always be supported? That your needs are always going to be met through, right? Not through being like, oh, my needs are always going to be met, so like, let me just spend all my money and like F around a little bit and like, that's a part of your journey. That's fine. But ideally, connecting to this trust that you will always be supported and your needs will always be met through consciously aligning with your destiny path and your soul service. If you are giving in the way you are feeling you are meant to give here, and we'll talk more about purpose connection in a later module, you're activating the dance of giving and receiving. It doesn't mean you have to figure out in this instant what that thing is. If you want support with that, we can chat some more. It's just about listening. Listening to the flow of energy. Where are you feeling directed? Where would you like to feel more radiant? Where would you like to give more? How do you feel called to give back, you could say? Through connecting to your greatness, through connecting to your gifts, through connecting to your life experiences and everything you've moved through. Letting go of the need to impress and to be liked by others. Ooh. Ooh. Huge. Huge, huge here. And again, it's like every time you do that, you're like, you're kind of like chipping away at the glass bowl of your structure, of your stability, of your legs. It's kind of like you keep I don't know why this image is coming, but it's like every time you're like trying to impress people, or again, you're trying to manipulate people into thinking that you are a certain way or you're a certain person. It's like you're chipping away a little bit of just one of your legs. You're not both. It's like one, one, one. So all of a sudden, the more you do it, it kind of compounds, and you kind of become like a lopsided, unstable human. And it's okay. I can laugh at this because it's been a major part of my journey. At this point, I'd be basically horizontal because I wouldn't have one of my legs at all. Or at least we've built with the Kundalini yoga, I've built myself back up to two walking legs. But there was definitely a time where I was like didn't even have one of my legs left at all. Okay, so honoring and owning your story and your journey. Honoring and owning your story and your journey. Okay, so it's this like acceptance and okayness of where you are exactly right now, and in navigating the waves of life. You are the ocean. And no matter how many waves come and go up and down and up and down and up and down through you, that's not your truth. Your truth is this vast, deep, stable. Like, just think about the energy of the ocean. And also, where do you feel that, or where would you like to feel that in your body? Personally, for me, it is that like lower back. And recently too, I've really moved through the layers and the levels of the back pain, the lower back pain especially, and in my hips and my pelvis that I've had and held for as long as I can remember. So again, it was then noticing, okay, I'm feeling this sensation in my body. I'm feeling this tightness. Oh, what is here? You know? And it can be very supportive. Like I had the blessing of moving through this chapter with my mentor, guiding me through it all, to really uncomfortable places, and moving the energy, shifting the energy. And maybe it's possible for you to do alone, right? But if you want support in moving through any of these things, even and especially if it has to do with the wisdom of your body, we can go into this even in a single session. So, oh yeah, okay. So back to honoring and owning your story and your journey. Notice what you don't want people to know or to think about you. What is it that you are hiding, either consciously or subconsciously? Because that is also prohibiting your radiance. And you can kind of think of it this way. I've used this analogy before of like, your ultimate radiance is when out of every cell of your being, you're just you, right? It's like out of every pore of your skin, you're beaming your light. And everything you don't want somebody to know about you, or every time especially you're getting really in your head about things, or you're in some kind of codependent I need you or I need you to need me dance, there's a push pin blocking one of your rays of radiance. Okay, so we're getting real, and we're becoming more aware of the push pins that we have that are blocking us. So, as we move through this journey together, just know that it's not all going to be comfortable. It's not all going to be feeling good and great and grand. There's a lot of awareness that comes forth that's going to be uncomfortable at first. And we'll get into this in our next module, which is the greatest self-love, of how can I be gracious with myself? How can I, and even now, right? How can I have that okayness, that acceptance of exactly where I am? And what can I do about this awareness? I can either self-sabotage myself. I can either, you know, hurt myself, harm myself in whatever kind of way that that is because of how things have unfolded in the past, or I can use the awareness to decide that I can do something about it. I can shift my habit. I can shift away moving forward with greater awareness. Because you can't change your past, so why stay stuck in it? Okay, so it's about really being real with yourself. How real are you with yourself? And where do you sit in delusion? Where do you sit in delusion? The good and the bad. Right? Again, that's the kind of inaction fantasization. Oh, I'd really like this thing. That would be really great. But you're not doing anything about it. Or, oh my God, I'm so afraid that this is going to happen, or this person is going to say this about me if I speak up and say this, or these people are going to cancel me. They're going to not like me, blah, 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 blah. Again, that's you getting caught in your mind. So how real are you being with yourself? Even how often, do you put your feet in the earth? Do you get yourself into nature? That'll help you get real. And also the meditation, right? The meditation practice, the stillness, because there's nowhere to go. It's just you and you. You and you, maybe your breath and your thoughts, maybe your voice, if you're doing this one we're doing right now. Okay, so remembering that the only constant is change. So we're getting more into the nuance, right? We're getting more now into the nuance of this in-sourced stability. Because the truth is that the only constant is change. So how can you find the inner stability to the point where you can allow life to happen? You can allow the waves to come and go. You can allow the change to happen. You can allow yourself to be evolving and to still feel that inner peace, that groundedness. So you might be starting to realize like this is deep. This is deep work. And it doesn't just happen overnight. Right. I'm having an ongoing conversation with one of my incredible clients who's like, well, can I just like shift instantly? You can have the awareness instantly. You do have the awareness instantly. You can take action instantly to begin to shift. But the work that we're doing here is deep in the way that these are oftentimes very, very ingrained patterns and loops, very ingrained in us. So it takes time. This is the power of a 40-day practice. This is the power, one of the superpowers of the 40-day practice, right? Is you're literally 40 days in Kundalini yoga is to undo a subconscious limiting belief and or habit that you have. So there's parts of the journey that can happen instantly. But if you want to create a new habit, if you want to develop a new habit, a new relationship with yourself, it takes time. It takes time, even and likely beyond the 40 days, right? Because then after that, you begin to build in and root in a new pattern. And after that, that plant can now begin to grow. Right. So give yourself the grace of not expecting yourself to be, you know, suddenly stable tomorrow, suddenly feeling this enforced stability tomorrow. It takes time. It takes time. I'm still working on it, right? I feel it much more rootedly now, but years, it can be years. So we're having these conversations so that the next wave, the next level iteration of these relationships you have with yourself can be initiated. And this is why we have this space, so you can continue to share the highs and the lows, the journey, the processes, you know, that you're moving through as you build up, you know, that one leg that's been chipped away at over years, maybe lifetimes. And it also then kind of becomes about like, how can you also accept your parents, your lineage, your upbringing, right? This shit gets really deep. So as opposed to being like, oh, like, mom, it's your fault that I'm this way. And if only I had had more time to do this and I had spent less time wearing uniforms my entire life, maybe I would have had a better sense of self. I would have been able to explore my sense of self if I had. This is the journey you're meant to be on. And as I said recently, I don't know where it was, Instagram Live, maybe. Totally forgot what I was going to say. If it's meant to come back, it'll come back. Or you can find that Instagram Live video. Okay. So remembering the only constant is change. We've got a few more things, and then I'm going to share. Maybe I'll do like an overview of the prompts. I'm going to make some pretty prompt pages for y'all. So you'll have the prompts all there, so you can come back to them, you can dive deeper into them, circle back to them, sit with yourself and have them like there. Okay, a few more things. So where am I? Okay. Yeah, and just as the only constant is change, remembering that your emotions are fleeting. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Can I tap into that oceanic energy? Can I breathe that energy into my pelvis, into my connection? Can I root my feet into the earth and feel that depth of connection? No matter what's happening out there, no matter what's happening in here, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. All of it. All of it. And through that, allowing yourself to not try and like push the emotions away as well. And we'll get more into this in module 4, which is our vast emotional capacity. But not suppressing your emotions, right? That's also creating push pins in your aura, in your radiance. Big time, big time. And that you, yeah, it's push pins because it's piercing your soul, not in a good way. It's like sticking little pinpoints, not the right words, but daggers in your soul, in your being, in your radiance, in your ability to be yourself and express yourself. Oh, can't go that way. Oh, can't go that way. Oh, can't go that way. Right? So remember and lastly here, remember and uncover your uniqueness. Uncover it. But every time you pull out one of those push pins, closer to feeling that ecstasy of existence. Some people call it enlightenment. Maybe for us, it's radiance and freedom of expression. I don't necessarily connect with the word enlightenment, but that's a whole other conversation. That freedom of expression. Because there's nobody like you. So what are you trying to hide? And this is one of the prompts that I'm going to have you kind of chew on and share in our space as well. What are you trying to hide? Those are major push pins. You know, me kind of trying to hide the fact that I spent a couple of months living at my parents' house. Not even consciously, right? But, oh, I don't want this person to think that, you know, whatever about me because this is my situation, you know, or what are you trying to hide? A relationship, a friendship, a person? What parts of yourself, what parts of your life experiences do you feel ashamed of or not proud of? That greatly prohibits your radiance, your ability to be yourself, because subconsciously there's a block, there's a fear that maybe in a conversation somebody's going to ask you a question about something that's going to trigger that thing, and you're like, I don't want to go there, so I'm going to prohibit myself from fully being myself and create these kind of barriers and armor and blocks because I don't want that thing to potentially come up. You see how it's like very subtle and subconscious. So a few of the shadows that we've already spoken into, but to kind of bring it in this way. A major one here is fear. A fear of being alone. A fear of being canceled. A fear of being the outcast. The fear of not fitting in, of not being liked. People pleasing, right? Major, major, major. And this can also show you where you're outsourcing your power. Where are you putting others before you put yourself? And where are you being easily and overly agreeable? Where you're just like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, yeah. Or where are you even like saying yes when you want to say no? Or where you like feel like you have something to say, to share. You want to like be a little bit different. You want to wear something a little bit different, a little bit out there, but you like don't want to stand out. You have a fear of standing out because of how people might misread you or misinterpret you or misunderstand you. So what supports us in conquering or moving beyond the fears? Action. Action cures fear. Action conquers fear. So any of those times that you feel those fears, the fears create that fight or flight state, right? And so this is where the nervous system, the meditation, the Kundalini yoga comes in again. So we're moving the energy into our body. Even simply breathing breath. Where would I was watching some video, but I won't sidetrack myself trying to think about that. When you're in that fight or flight state, your mind is activated. Oh, I was watching a Liam Hemsworth thing where he was conquering his fear and he was doing some crazy thing of, I think he was in Australia and he was going to go like walk this really thin line thing at the top of this like tallest building in Australia. And so how do you recognize that you're spiraling and shift that out of fight or flight? Deepen your breath, connect with your body. Fear is excitement without the breath. So bring in breath and notice where you're not taking action. That's the realness of being here in the physical body. I take action, I move the energy, I move it in a direction. Okay, and another key shadow to look out for is outsourced validation. Again, this kind of neediness. I need, what does this person think? What is this person going to think? What do I want this person to think? How do I want to curate, hyper curate? We'll use hyper curate my image, my energy, my outfit, so that they will validate me. Even sometimes we wear certain things because we want people to compliment us, you know, whether it's we want them to say something out loud, or we want somebody to say something out loud, or if it's just we want them to like associate us with something, which can be so prohibiting. And then again, you're trying to manipulate people. Okay, so a final thing here is a few of the ways you can tell if you are embodying your insourced stability. Your okayness being different. I feel so stable in myself. I feel so grounded in myself that I'm okay being different. Let whoever think whatever. I've got my feet. I'm rooted. I'm connected to my truth, my inner Satnam. I am the vast ocean. I am not the highs and the lows. I can let whoever think whatever. I can hold energetically and maybe physically even the opposition. So embodied, you're able to share your opinions, your voice, your perspectives. You're comfortable being heard and also in silence. I think that one's even bigger. Yes, I'm comfortable being heard, but next level to that is, am I comfortable in the silence? You know, because we're always like awkward silence. You're on a date, you're like awkward silence. You're meeting somebody new, awkward silence. You're at a like group gathering, and all of a sudden, awkward silence. In-source stability is not feeling the need to like fill it with something. Not feeling that like momentary anxiety of like, oh God, what am I going to say next? Right? Because that can also subconsciously prohibit us from meeting new people, getting uncomfortable, right? Which is us expanding, activating our radiance, creating opportunities through connection. So how comfortable are you in silence? Okay, embodied is inner peace. It's not feeling like the overwhelming pressure of time, stress, right? The opposite would be stress. The overwhelming stress that can be activated through the instability of money, time, love. What's the other one? Money, time, love. There's one more. Can't think of it. If I think of it, I'll share in the group. Money, time, love. It's been a while since I visited those. Anyways, embodied. Not being swayed by what others think. Not being swayed, but also not being stubborn. Where is that line between ability to receive and knowing when and how to receive? Right? This is super nuanced, which I've, again, really had to navigate in this past chapter. people are saying shitty things about me and backhandedly wishing ill on me and sharing their opinions about how they think I should be doing things or choices I should or shouldn't be making. How do you create that in-sourced stability to the point where you have that like buffer, right? It's like your energetic buffer so that you're not swayed, you're not derailed by these projections that people make based off of their life and their life experiences and how they would do things, but that's okay because they're not you and you're not them. And there's nobody like you and there's nobody like them. Without, and while also being able to receive in the time and place and situation. And this is where, you know, tapping into not giving unsolicited advice and not allowing yourself to receive unsolicited advice. If you notice that somebody is giving you unsolicited, unasked for advice or opinions, just say, hey, I appreciate that you care about me to the extent that you want me to know this or to hear this or to receive this. But I'm actually not, I'm not open to this right now. You know, whether it's because you're still finding your legs with whatever the thing is, that whatever the conversation or way of life is, or you didn't ask for it. So unsolicited advice always creates resentment, whether you're the giver of it or the receiver of it. And I've experienced it on both ends. Because if you're giving it, you get frustrated because they're not doing anything about it. They're not changing their life, their actions because of what you said, because they didn't ask for it. And therefore they're like, well, what the F am I supposed to do with this? Or as the receiver, it's like, bitch, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for that. And now maybe I'm questioning myself, or now I'm pissed because what the hell? I didn't ask for that. Okay, so unsolicited advice always creates resentment. Just write it down, chew on it, live it out. Reflect on how that's been the case in your life. Okay, so embodied, it's your ability to hold opposition and judgment, and also misunderstanding. Again, can I allow whoever to think whatever about me, about my choices? It's okay that they think I should do things differently. Can I hold us in our differences? And can I be at peace with change? And you can tap back into one of our previous modules if you want to dive deeper into this, that is literally called your ever evolving essence, how to navigate your ever evolving essence. Again, this is very root chakra. Okay, so I'm not, let me check the time here. Okay, we'll go through these prompts and practices quickly, but you'll also receive this on, well, not on paper. You can print it if you want. Okay, so here's a few of the prompts I want you to really chew on. As you go through your days, ask yourself, if I were at peace being misunderstood, how would I handle this? What would I say? Or what would I not say? How would I walk away? Or what would I do? How would I handle this moment, this situation? If I were okay being misunderstood, being judged, being misinterpreted, get real with yourself. Have you actually ever not had your basic needs met? The truth is, even if you were homeless for a period of time, even if you're in a situation that's not ideal, you're receiving this right now, which means you have Wi-Fi, which means you have some kind of electronic device. You're alive, you're breathing, you're well, you're here. So even if the answer is you feel like it's no, you're still okay, you're still here. So it's really connecting to and flexing that trust of, if I were to trust that my needs are always met, then what could I do? What could I do? What could I create? If I felt that bones, my structure, my legs, my feet, if I flexed that trust, what could I create? Who could I become? How much more expressive could I be? Could I feel? Where am I sitting in delusion and fantasy land? Where am I not taking action? What am I not taking action on? How often am I making decisions based off of how I want people to receive and perceive me? Right? Think your clothes, makeup, agreeability, people pleasing, keeping peace in groups. That's a decision to not express yourself, to not speak your truth, to not share because you want to keep peace. That's you letting yourself have one of those push pins in you. What are you hiding? And what do you not want people to know about you, and why? Remember your greatness, please. What are your strengths, your superpowers? What do people compliment you on? What is required for you to feel great when you jump on a call, when you show up online for your business, for your career, for an audition? What is required? What are your kind of, what is your little kind of checklist of like, okay, if I do this plus this equals me feeling great. This plus this equals me not feeling great. Right? So this is, now we're getting into how can you set yourself up for success. But I want you to start a list of your strengths and your superpowers and add to it every day. Maybe even for the 40 days. At least 2 things, no repeating. And who are you? What lights you up? When do you notice you tend to contract and get insecure? What relationships and kinds of conversations do you feel inspired and energized by? And what leaves you feeling drained? And also, a very great way to start to tap into who you are is who you are not. Who am I not? What pisses me off? What turns me off? What has turned me off in the past? And as you more consciously move through your life, what is turning me off? Oh, that just pissed me off. Okay. And a few action items for you. Meditate. Consciously create that space for you and you only. Spend time with yourself. Get bare feet, get into nature. Practice holding space in the silence. Being okay with the silence, the stillness in between. Maybe even literally get into like the ocean. Connect to the vastness of the ocean. Ride the waves, but feel that that doesn't derail you completely. Are you the waves or are you the vastness of the ocean? Spend time with your body regularly. This can range from just like moving your hands over your skin, self-massage. You can get body massages, body care. asking your body how it's doing, breathing deeper into those places in your body, especially your lower back and any pain points, rolling out. If you want to go deeper into this, I call them soma soul sessions, right? So tapping into the wisdom of your soul, the wisdom of your soma, your body, and how your soul is speaking through the wisdom of your body. So if you want to go deeper and move through that together, we can do that as well. Eating root vegetables, carrots, potatoes, beets, the things that grow from the ground and are in the ground, and lots of protein. Make sure you're getting your proper protein portions. I realized I started a very powerful, incredible, and yet simple food program. And I realized how under-proteined I was. Very, as most of us probably are. And make yourself a personal jams playlist. Make yourself a personal jams playlist. Tap that playlist that's gonna tap you into your radiance, your expression. That gets you singing, that gets you dancing, that gets you feeling, that gets you in your vibes. If you want some suggestions, I'm happy to send some your way. All right, that is what I have for you today. Thank you for being here with me, for riding this journey with me, for your desire to step into your radiance more and more and more. If you have thoughts on this, if you disagree, if you agree, let me know what landed, let me know what resonated. Share. The more you share, the more it integrates. So the more you engage inside of the portal of expansion, right? Focus on directing your questions, your comments, your disagreements, whatever it is in there, so that we can all receive the juices of it. And my prayer is that through this program, we can remove as many of these push pins, withholding, stopping our total radiance, our total freedom of being, of expression, of self, of impact, right? The more radiance you are, the more impact you can have, because you're being you, you're beaming you, you're honoring your uniqueness, you're honoring, you're owning your greatness. And that is magnetic more than you can know. Okay, so I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to continuing these conversations, both on this topic and also beyond. I look forward to hearing how your soul work goes, and the rest of the modules to come, and who I am going to become through this 40-day experience, through the practice combined with the conversations, and also who we're all going to become. So keep up and you will be kept up. And I'm excited for you, for me, for us. Big love from the jungle to wherever you are in the world. And we'll talk very soon. Mwah.